Hey guys, Nacho here. I'm here with my first official Draft League format video. And what better to start with than the Dream League? The Dream League is currently in its fourth season. Last season we were lucky enough, well maybe not lucky, we were able to be a substitute coach for someone who had to drop mid-season, and we were invited back for season 4. So that's really cool. The Dream League is a pretty competitive, it's a fairly competitive league, and this season they decided to expand to 20 teams instead of 16. So it's a little bit interesting. There's a lot of people trying to pull from kind of, the standard draft pool, so we could be stretched a little thin. But there are a couple notable unbans in Tapu Lele and Hoopa Unbound, and Magirna is allowed. So yeah, it could be pretty cool. Going in, I had not a great plan, but I knew there was a couple of things I wanted to try, and I'd been wanting to try for a while. So I was hoping for a decent pick, and unfortunately, out of 20, I was like 12th or something. So I was kind of in the middle, and it was like, what are you gonna do? So anyway, yeah, let's jump right in, right? So round 1 comes along, and I was just kind of, honestly, my thought process every round 1 is just wait to see what's there, and then, you have stuff in mind, right? But, depending on what drops to you, you can start there and then start thinking of cores and how to build around it. So, yeah, it finally got to me, and I was able to execute on a plan I'd had for a while, and I got my boy Excadrill. I'd used a sand team in Gen 6, an Oras, so Oras, how the fuck you say it, and I liked it a lot. I used Tyranitar and Excadrill and like Charizard X or something. So it was it's familiar to me, and I know it's good. I like the fact that it can set rocks on anything with Mold Breaker. It can spin those other hazards away, and it's got great dual stab coverage, or with coverage. In EQ destroys things, and Iron Head's great for fairies and just hitting things. So yeah, with that, I was like, okay, how do I build around this thing? And first I wanted to go kind of defensive, and so I ended up getting Tangrowth. Now Tangrowth is really cool. Tangrowth is one of those mons that I knew I wanted going in also, because I had been trying to get it for like 2 drafts before this one, and then it kept going before I could get a chance to get it. So this time round 2 came around, and I was like, I can't wait, I'm gonna get it. So there it is, and that's really nice because Tangrowth is a pretty good Excadrill check, so now I don't have to deal with it at all. So I'm pretty happy about that, and it helps absorb the ground coverage that and the water coverage that Excadrill doesn't like. But I still had to deal with the fire coverage and the fighting coverage. So my next pick, I thought was pretty good. It wasn't like, it was my first choice, but I think I could have waited on it. But that's okay. I decided I would kind of expand on my expand and also finish out my regenerator core. So I picked up Slowbro. I do like Slowbro a lot. It's nice and physically defensive like Tangrowth, so they they have good synergy that way. So pretty much any physical threat I have a switch into for the most part. And yeah, it gives me that good bulky water. It's a psychic type, so it resists fighting types. And yeah, just all around, I really like it. So yeah, this was my other round, or my other tier 2 pick. So as you can see, right down there, you have to fulfill 1 T1, T2, tier 3s, tier 4, tier 5, and a mega pick, and then you get 4 free picks, to spend all your points on, in case you don't know how this format works. Most of you probably do. Um, but so I was waiting on a couple different tier one picks because I wasn't really sold on any of them. A lot of the really good stuff had gone already, and I was just kind of waiting to see what fell. And this time around, I decided I couldn't really wait. I had kind of had my eye on a good electric type like Thunderous Incarnate. But unfortunately, that was sniped a couple picks before me, and so I had to fall back on Plan B. But it's a pretty damn good Plan B. I got Salamence. Salamence is one of the best Z-move users in the format, and luckily I don't have to make it a Z captain because this league doesn't use Z-move captains, which is I like that best because it gives you the most flexibility, and it is the most challenging to prep for. But you know, it's like it's not that big a deal, right? You basically kind of know what's coming sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So Salamence has the ability to do that for me, and it's a great dragon type. And I already have Slowbro to check or to switch into the ice moves, and Tangrowth for the rock moves. I really like it. So it's not really super hindered by rocks or anything. You know, it is rock weak, but whatever. I have a spinner already. So yeah, now I have this, and I'm liking my team so far. It's got offense, it's got bulk, and now I'm thinking, all right, what do I need more than anything right now? And one was a fairy, but two, fairies aren't essential to draft league format. But you know what is? A fast electric type. Everybody knows that. Like, it's super important. Like, they are literally essential. So I had to get one. So Jolteon joins the team. Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything about this anymore because you can't get by without one, right? So there we go. I got my electric type. After that, I was kind of freaking out at this point because, I didn't have a fairy yet. I didn't have a fire type. I actually wanted, I think I was gunning for Arcanine as my other tier 3 pick, but that was sniped right after I picked Slowbro. And that's kind of what I mean when I probably should have waited on Slowbro, because I don't think anyone else was going to take it then. And it may have gone undrafted, and I probably could have picked up something else, like, even if it did get picked, I probably could have picked up, like, Toxapex or something. I don't remember if it was drafted at that point or not. Maybe it was, but either way, I had other options, and I kind of wanted that fire type, especially with the Intimidate. Even though I have Intimidate with Salamence, it would have been a cool Intimidate core. But yeah, I decided that I was gonna go for a fighting type instead. So I got Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee, I actually don't really remember why I got it, other than I was like, you know what, it gets spin, so I don't have to run spin and Excadrill if I don't want to. It is a fighting type, and I do think fighting types are pretty important for, for some bulky stuff like, Snorlax, like, I don't know, rock types, steel types. Basically, I think Hitmonlee is useful in that it brings high jump kick pressure, it brings fake out and knockoff pressure, it gets Mach Punch and Bullet Punch, so it can be useful, and I think it was a pretty decent pickup, but I probably should have prioritized some other things above it, but that's okay. The next round, I was like, you know what, it's been too long since I had a fairy, I've waited long enough to get a fairy, so I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, but, no offense, Granbull, but you're not, the most ideal fairy to pick, but, that's okay. Again, it's Intimidate, kind of like I wanted. It does get decent coverage. It's not like a slouch as far as being strong, but it is pretty slow. It's not really too bulky, even with Intimidate. But I think it can be useful, and it is a Dragon Stop if I need one. So yeah, that's Granbull. And finally, I decide, I still don't have a fire type to round out. I had up to the last couple rounds, I didn't have a Firewater Grass core and I didn't have Fairy Dragon Steel core. So I was like, I gotta fill these out right because those are important, super important. So yeah, I picked up Salazzle because it also deals with fairies really well. And I didn't really have, Excadrill doesn't really want to switch into too many. I mean, it can switch into Moonblast and stuff, sure, but I still just didn't feel great about it because most fairies would probably pack coverage for Excadrill specifically. But maybe not. Either way, I got Salazzle, which is a nice, fast, decently strong Pokemon with good coverage, and its cool dual stab combination is it's pretty devastating on a lot of teams. So I feel pretty good about Salazzle. It is frail as hell, but it is fast and it has good strong coverage. So I feel good about that. And now is when I start kind of freaking out because everyone starts talking about megas, and I had a mega in mind this whole time, and I'm sure you can kind of figure it out which one it is with my round 1 pick there of Excadrill. And the cool thing about this league is when you pick a mega, you can also use its non-mega form with any other item you want. That's kind of busted. And so, oh god damn it. And so in that, I knew what I had to get, and people started talking about it, and I got a little nervous, but, I probably could have waited till the end of the draft, but why chance it? Fuck it, let's just get Mega Tyranitar. Now, I don't have to really say why Mega Tyranitar is a good fit for this team, but I will anyway. It brings sand for Excadrill. That's awesome. It's strong as hell. It's fast. It's not fast as hell, but it can Dragon Dance on things and just rip through teams. Or I can be, I can hold the Smooth Rock for extra sand turns. I can be Scarf and catch things off guard. I can be AV. I can be Chople. Whatever. It's a really great pick, I think, and most other people thought too. It's really good value because normal Tyranitar is really good. Mega Tyranitar is really good, and you don't know which I'm gonna bring. I could be Scarfed one time and catch you completely off guard. So it's a really cool pick. I'm really happy I got it. Don't really regret taking it early. So I think this kind of rounds out my true threats because my last 2 picks I was kind of just grasping for straws again. With 20 people, you're already kind of limited on the good tier 4s and tier 5s that really fit your team and can contribute. And so I was just kind of like, what seems kind of useful, what seems like a good idea to get, and I decided the first one would be Kecleon, which, I don't need to tell you how good protein is. Got a kid outside my car. But yeah, it's this kid's trying to just get in my car. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Kecleon is really, not super versatile, but it's kind of unpredictable in a sense. I mean, you kind of know it's going to have like the Sucker Punch, the Shadow Sneak, it gets knockoff, things like that. So it's not super original, but it's something, right? It's something I could potentially bring to a match and kind of throw people off. So that was my thought process with that. And then the last round, I was really just not lost, but I just was like, it doesn't really matter what I pick at this point. I can drop it or trade it if I want. So I got a Rotom, and not to say Rotom's bad or anything. I did like the option to have a Levitate Mon, and I did like that it's a Ghost type, so I have a Ghost type at least, and it's just I hate to call it filler, but it's basically filler because again, 20 teams, it's really hard to find something that's really gonna jump out at you and say like, I can help. But yeah, so with that, I effectively ended my draft, and this season 4 team I think is gonna really put in the work for me. I like it a lot. It's a little bit top heavy, but that's okay. I'm comfortable with the majority of the Pokemon on the list, or on the team, and I hope they can carry me because I need all the help I can get. But yeah, it should be really fun. I like the possibilities it brings, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing some of the matches, because those will be coming pretty soon. Actually, very soon. I need to catch up quite a bit, because this league is actually, at the time of filming, we're in like week 8 or something. So yeah, not to give you too much peek behind the curtain and ruin the illusion, but trying to play catch up here. But either way, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you care about the care about me and these videos. But subscribe if you want to see the matches, because hopefully some of them will be pretty good, and hopefully I won't get stomped every time, but we'll see. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and shit. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.